Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. What a game, guys. What a game. Super Bowl 56 absolutely lived up to the hype. Two teams that were striving to end their Super Bowl droughts, but only one team could come away victorious. Only one team could end it. And that was the LA Rams, a designated road team in the game, but the true home team last night. The Rams winning their first Super Bowl since the 1999 season with their 23-20 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. And guys, today we're just giving a brief recap. Our thoughts on the game, kind of what happened in the game, going to be very brief. But I want to really focus today more on what happened in the second half, more than anything else that happened before that. Because the first half, both teams got out slow. We typically see that in Super Bowls. Both teams are trying to feel each other out. Both teams are trying to see, schemes, trying to see formations. They're trying to not take any big risks early on. And we kind of saw that. Very low-scoring first quarter, low-scoring first half as a whole, 13-10 Rams at halftime. You saw a touchdown to Odell Beckham Jr. You saw a touchdown to Cooper Kupp. The Bengals were able to answer with a beautiful pass from Joe Mixon, not Joe Burrow. No one had money on Joe Mixon throwing the first touchdown for the Bengals. Joe Mixon to T. Higgins that cut into that lead, yet the Bengals still trailed by 3. And I will say that the interception with about 2 minutes left by the Bengals was huge in keeping them in this game and making it as close as it was at the very end. Because Matthew Stafford doesn't throw that interception in the end zone, who knows? Maybe they're up 20-10 at halftime, 16-10 at halftime. And obviously that kind of could have altered the game all the way through. So a huge play by the Cincinnati defense right there at the end of the first half. But it was the second half, guys, that was the best part of this game. Right after that halftime show that some loved and some hated, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But Cincinnati came out, first play of the second half, and scored a touchdown. Very first play, 75-yard touchdown from Joe Burrow to T. Higgins, despite the fact that Higgins clearly grabbed Jalen Ramsey's face mask. The referees missed that call. It was clear as day, kind of came across, yanked it, still caught the ball, took off 75 yards to the house, no flag. And the Bengals, just like that, were up 17-13. So, in a way, look, guys, it's human error with these referees. We see countless bad calls time and time again, not just in the Super Bowl, but in any sporting event, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, you're going to see bad calls. That's the human error. I don't think the referee had a great angle of that, and really you can't go back and really review that either. So the Bengals took a lead on that play. The very next play on the Rams drive, the Bengals get an interception. Tip ball, interception, and their drive is starting inside the Rams 40. Already up 17-13. That was the difference maker, guys. Not that interception, because that interception only turned into 3 points. Evan McPherson, one of our keys to the game, was money all night long. Just couldn't come away with the victory. It was the fact that the Rams were able to hold Cincinnati to a field goal there. Because if the Bengals score and get up 24-13, I'm not saying the game was over. But to get down double digits like that, about midway through the third quarter, the Rams would have had a very strong uphill battle because the Bengals were rolling. Their defense was phenomenal in stopping the run. They had 2 interceptions off of Matthew Stafford. This defense was solid from start to finish. Holding the Rams to 23 points, that's no small feat. It's a very difficult thing to do. And typically, if you can do that with an offense that the Bengals have, typically you would come away with victory. The Bengals fell just short. The Rams in the second half, guys, they scored the final 10 points. So after getting down 20-13 following the interception, they scored the final 10 points, including Cooper Kupp's game-winning touchdown with 1:25 left. Cooper Kupp, the game MVP, 8 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, the game winner. And say what you want, guys, about that final drive by the Rams. I thought it was masterfully orchestrated by Matthew Stafford, but obviously as they got deeper in the red zone, we saw so many penalties. Stafford hit Kupp earlier in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. It was called back due to offsetting penalties. We saw a couple pass interference calls in the end zone. The referee, some would say, was a makeup call for the one they missed on T. Higgins at the beginning of the half. And you really do hate to see a game that was pretty clean for the most part. A very clean game, not many penalties, not many holds, false starts. No many penalties by either team to kind of get marred by penalties there at the very end. I'm not saying the referees determined the outcome of this game, not at all. The majority of those calls I saw towards the end were, I believe, justified, despite how frustrating I know that was for Bengals fans. But again, you hate to see plays like that right down there at the very end of the game kind of get dictated and determined by the referees and their yellow flags. The ultimate difference maker, guys, in this game, we kind of highlighted just almost a recap of what happened, but from our personal point of view, and I think this goes to everybody else, the difference maker was the Rams defense. The Rams defense, one that was so senior-led, Eric Weddle and Aaron Donald and Von Miller, guys like that. That defense, that veteran leadership that we talked about earlier in the week, ended up being the difference maker. Because look at this, guys. The Rams didn't force a turnover. The Bengals won the turnover battle. The Bengals won the turnover battle, but only got 3 points out of it. So keep that in mind. Only got 3 points off the 2 turnovers. The Rams had a Super Bowl record 7 sacks on Joe Burrow. So what do the Bengals need this offseason? They need an offensive line. But 7 sacks on Joe Burrow, a Super Bowl record. Here's the thing. In the first quarter, guys, the Bengals had the ball on the Rams' 11-yard line. They were 11 yards away from scoring. And they held them to 3 points. The Rams held them to 3 points. First quarter, Rams' 11-yard line, and the Rams held them to 3. Then after that interception, where their drive started on the Rams' 31, they held them again. The drive started on the Rams' 31, and the Rams held the Bengals to another 3 points. If those turn into touchdowns, guys, obviously the Bengals win. And I wholeheartedly believe that had the Bengals scored off of that interception at the beginning of the third quarter, the Bengals win the Super Bowl. And you could say yes, because then they'd have 24, and the Rams only had 23. The outcome of the game, the play calling of the game, everything would have changed drastically for both teams had the Bengals scored a touchdown there. But the Bengals had all momentum, and it almost felt like the Rams took away some of that momentum by holding them to a field goal. Instead of getting down 11, they were only down 7. 1 possession versus 2. That defense, guys, ultimately determined the outcome of this game. McPherson came through clutch like we expected, but was unable to get the ball in the end zone, and that was the difference maker. And then finally, obviously on the final drive, the Bengals had 2nd and 1 from the Rams' 49. They only needed about probably 10 to 15 more yards to give McPherson a legitimate shot to tie this game and send us into overtime. But the Bengals had an incomplete pass. Then they had a run for no gain. And then Aaron Donald, who else but Aaron Donald, pressured Joe Burrow on 4th and 1 from the 49-yard line to force another incompletion and to give the Rams their first title since 1999. You know, we just had a feeling on that 4th and 1 play. You just had a feeling that Aaron Donald, who had been relatively quiet for most of the night, you had a feeling that he was going to be the one to make the play. Who else would it be? Who else would it be? The guy who has been the heart and soul of this Rams team for years now, one of the best defensive players in the league for years now. A guy who may ride off into the sunset and call it a career, finally capturing a Super Bowl. He broke down in tears after the game, after the confetti was raining down and they were interviewing him, just crying, saying, "This is what I dreamed of. This is what I've been working for." A Rams organization that really hadn't done anything until Sean McVay came along about 5 years ago, got him to a Super Bowl back in 2018, got him back this year, and they finally captured it. Matthew Stafford finally captured his first Super Bowl. After years of suffering in Detroit, his first year in LA, he comes out and gets a Super Bowl. Aaron Donald finally getting a Super Bowl. Odell Beckham Jr., despite getting hurt in that first quarter or second quarter, despite getting hurt in the first half, horrible looking knee injury, contributed early on with the first touchdown of the game, one that was obviously crucial in the Rams' victory. Odell, after years of suffering in Cleveland and New York, gets a Super Bowl. Andrew Whitworth finally gets a Super Bowl. Von Miller adds another Super Bowl. Sean McVay gets a Super Bowl. Look, guys, we said back in our prediction we didn't really want either team to lose this game. The Bengals, we felt, absolutely deserved it, but the Rams deserved it just as much. And the Rams, they sold out. They sold picks for players. They went all out knowing our time is short. We're going for veterans. We're not going for rebuilding. We're not going for youth. We're going for veterans to win now. And that is exactly what Los Angeles did. So congratulations to the LA Rams and for an unbelievable Super Bowl victory. Super Bowl 56 for me would be one of the better ones in recent memory. They are looking good, guys, and you can't help but feel they might lose a bunch of people after this. You know, Stafford could ride off into the sunset. Donald could. Von Miller could. Sean McVay could. There are rumors of him leaving the Rams after this year. Highly doubt that, but you never know. Free agency in the offseason can get pretty wild. But the Rams, guys, they sold out. While they might not be back next year, while they may not have to, have all these veterans back next year, they've got this to hang on their cap, right? They've got that to put up there. First one since 1999. And guys, let me tell you one thing. The Rams will be back soon, but the Bengals may be back even sooner. second-year quarterback in Joe Burrow, almost led them to a game-winning drive, almost led them to a Super Bowl in just a second year with the team. First ever Super Bowl title. Had they won it, the Bengals will be back. They will be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. And guys, I'm telling you, the NFL is going to be very, very fun and very wide open for a long, long time. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. We hope you enjoyed Super Bowl 56. We hope you enjoyed our NFL coverage for the majority of this season. Now we're going to be switching gears back to college starting later this week. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And you can do that by continuing to like, comment, subscribe, and sharing our videos. Guys, those things that take just a few seconds for you help us out tremendously. So make sure to go do all that. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.